Alrighty, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to Season 5, Episode 5 of Hit the Books. This podcast all about sports betting, the best bets you should be taking in everything surrounding sports. This week, we have the NFL Week 5 here, a little recap in Week 4 as well. Some news across the league, some injuries, some things happening, but the NHL is right around the corner here. We want to head into some odds and things before the regular season opening night here early next week. College football, we got a full slate here for this weekend. MLB power rankings, news, and more as the playoffs are here. And a little recap in the golf world as the Ryder Cup has finished up. But that's all I got here for this week so far. Let's introduce my co-hosts with me here this week. Ace, why don't you get us started? What do you got for us?
Yeah, what's going on, boys? Just came back, saw some nice Monday Night Football down in Florida. Got to see the Marlins knock out those New York Mets as well. So I got to see a lot of sad New York fans that made the trip down there with me. So that was awesome to see. My Red Sox also sent home the New York faithful pretty sad last night with a nice 3-1 win to open up the wild card round of the American League. And the Patriots grabbed another win. Drake May's looking like a really solid young quarterback too. So a lot of good vibes going here. And we got some hockey next week, like you said. So I'm excited to get going here on another week of sports.
Heck yeah. Like you said, hockey right around the corner. Huff, what do you got for us here before we get into this week's episode?
Yeah, great time on the sports calendar. Anytime you get, some meaningful baseball games as we're into these wild card rounds, all of these have been must-see TV so far. I love the MLB playoffs. We obviously have an NFL slate. College football is in full session. And then, like you said, the NHL starting up next weekend. Not expected to be the best season for my Penguins, but obviously we go to a decent amount of games. So always looking forward to hockey season coming back around, getting down there, watch some hockey. But yeah, basketball right around the corner. College basketball a month away. Saw that today. So it's a great time in the sports world. Summer sadly coming to a close as we move into the 1st of October today. But great time in the sports world. Lots to talk about.
Yeah, month of October, notably a great month for sports, NHL, NBA, MLB, and NFL to wrap it all off, as well as college football. But let's jump into the NHL to get us started here this week. Luke Hughes has signed a 7-year contract deal with an average annual value of $9 million. The Devils announced the Wednesday. What are your thoughts on the Devils team this season with this signing, with this extension? What are your thoughts here before we go over some odds?
I think that's an overpay personally, but Luke Hughes is really good. You got to keep the Hughes Brewers together. Maybe that means they eventually get Quinn Hughes further down the line. That's what everybody wants to see. But with the salary cap rising as well, we're going to see bigger contracts dished out. He's a really young player, great before he came to the NHL, and he's already starting to showcase. He was on that power play a little bit last year. I know the Devils had a little bit of a down year, but I think they're going to be a strong team, led by his brother Jack as well. But got to keep those guys happy and some good skill around that team too.
Yeah, I thought it was a little bit high money as well, but obviously when your brother's the best player on the team and the face of the franchise, I think they'll slide a couple extra sheets your way to keep him happy as well. But what would you say the Devils' expectations are this year?
I think they're a top 3 team in the Metro, at least skill-wise. If they can stay healthy, I think there's some teams that overperformed a little bit last year. Obviously, you have the Hurricanes that are a very strong group on that side. The Rangers, I don't know, Rangers, Devils, they're usually right there with each other in the Metro. And Luke Hughes is expected to take on that QB of the power play role eventually. He did last year. I think he's going to stick with that spot too. And they're hoping his ceiling is somewhat like his brother Quinn's over there in Vancouver. So I think that's why you offer him this much money. And what he's been able to showcase with his skill set, he's only going to get better with age.
Yeah, I didn't really know what the expectation was going into this. Obviously, a lot of people are, circling now when are they going to get Quinn from Vancouver there. I heard a couple rumors in the offseason that Luke Hughes was not going to be signing this extension, that they were going to be looking to go elsewhere other than the Devils, try to all team up somewhere. But him signing a 7-year extension looks like if they ever all play together, it will be in Jersey.
Yeah, that'd be awesome to see. Hopefully they give it to us one day. We saw them on the NHL photo shoots for the video game and whatnot. We see their high marquee skill. Maybe we'll see them in the Olympics a little bit. I know we'll see Quinn and Jack, but Luke Hughes looking to make a name for himself as well.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of good stuff there for the Devils. Luke Hughes signing that extension. But like I said, the NHL begins with the regular season opening night, beginning on October 7th, next Tuesday. The schedule includes 2 games in Sweden in November and a 19-day break in February for the Olympic Winter Games, Milano Cortina in 2026, which will feature NHL players on the biggest world stage since the first time since 2014. But first, let's check out some winners in the Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and the Stanley Cup. Let's start out with the Western Conference here. I'm curious to hear who you guys like, who's going to be your dark horse and who's going to be your favorite pick, but Golden Knights leading the board here at plus 400 to win the Western Conference. Avalanche at plus 425 with the Oilers also at 425. Stars at plus 475, and then a big jump for the Kings and the Jets at plus 1100. What are your guys' thoughts here on the Western Conference?
Yeah, I mean, the Western Conference the last 2 years, coming out of you're talking about in the regular season or coming out of the Western Conference to go to the Cup?
This conference finals winners.
All right. Yeah. So do we get a hat trick of the Edmonton Oilers getting to the Cup once again? I don't know. I don't see that happening. I saw they got Connor Ingram today, which was a nice little move considering their goalie woes. I think it's the Dallas Stars time. I know they really can't get over that hump. We like to kind of mess with them a little bit, Huff, like, oh, this Dallas Stars team, they remind you of like the Ravens or the 76ers or any of these teams across other sports that really can't get over it. But when you look at their roster top to bottom, I know they just changed their head coach again, so maybe that'll help them do it. But they're so stacked with that young defensive core, Miro Heiskanen, Thomas Harley, the stars up front, not to say the Stars have the stars, but Wyatt Johnston's coming to age. Jason Robertson, they still got him there. They have Jamie Benn, who's going to be out for a little bit of while, but they have big names like Hintz too. Throughout the lineup, it's just so stacked. I think this team is too good not to be in that mix. Give me the Dallas Stars to finally get over the hump here and get it done. Huff, who are you liking in the West this year?
I'd say I was not shocked to see them as the favorite, but I like Vegas. I was hoping to get a little bit better of a price on them. Yeah, I like the addition of Marner. I think that team was ready for a cup the past few years. I think they're looking to get back there. You bring in a key piece like Marner, you pair him with a guy like Eichel and some of those other pieces that they already have out there on a pretty deep roster. That team is pretty good. The goaltending has always kind of been the question there. Obviously, they won a cup with Aiden Hill, so who knows what they could do in the future. But I'd say Vegas plus 400. I like the price on that. I feel like it could be a little steeper, but yeah, it's not shocked to see them as the favorite. I think they probably have the best roster up there with Dallas in the West. Obviously, it's hard to compete with Edmonton with 97 and 29 out there every night. But Colorado, the West is a gauntlet this year. There's a lot of good teams. I mean, even you move down the Kings. I don't think any of us have major expectations for them, but they're a good team. They always compete in the playoffs. The Jets, Winnipeg, that we know their history in the playoffs, but they're going to put up a fight. Never an easy place to go play playoff games in the NHL. But and then Minnesota, I don't know. I don't expect too much from Minnesota. We can touch on obviously Kaprizov getting the NHL record deal. What was it, $136 million over 8 years?
137. I think he's averaging $17 million a year. You talk about that Wild team though. They're up there in my sleepers in the West. I know we have those big names. You talked about it. There's powerhouses: Edmonton, Colorado, Vegas, and Dallas, and Winnipeg too, I guess, in the regular season. Those ones always get their prominent look. The LA Kings, with what they've been able to build, Quentin Byfield turning into a true superstar with the rest of the team around them. That's nice to see. Anze Kopitar's last season too. Meanwhile, two sleeper teams I like, though, are the Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues. I am not a big St. Louis Blues fan, but Jordan Binnington, love him or hate him, plays winning hockey whenever he goes out there on the ice. Did it for Team Canada, won the Blues a cup before, and now they have my former head coach, Jim Montgomery, taking the reins. They just made the playoffs last year, and one of the biggest young phenoms to watch out for. Jesse, I don't know if we're getting to the Rookie of the Year Calder trophy, but Jimmy Snuggerud for the St. Louis Blues could be a sleeper pick for him to really jump onto the scene and help that team go forward. And like Huff said, that Wild team, you can't count them out. Philip Gustafsson jumped onto the scene last year, played for Sweden in the Olympics, or the Four Nations tournament. He'll be with them in the Olympics too. They also have one of the top goalie prospects in the world in Jesper Wallstedt. Looks really good. They added some young defensive players. They have Zeev Buem coming from Denver. I know a lot of you guys like watching those Western college hockey teams beat up on my Boston teams when it matters, but he's really good to join with Brock Faber. You have Matt Boldy up front with Kirill Kaprizov and a bunch of role players that are very skilled as well. That's another team you got to watch out for. I think as that youth turns into a little bit more experience, they're really going to make a jump and push some of these older skilled teams that have been in the mix for so long in the West.
Heck yeah, boys. Tons of good stuff out of the NHL there for the Western Conference. Let's jump over to the Eastern Conference here. See some of these powerhouses over here. The Hurricanes leading the board over here at plus 400. The Lightning at plus 475. The Panthers at plus 500. The Devils at plus 700. Maple Leafs 750. Rangers just over 1,000 at 1050. And Capitals to round us off here at plus 1,500. What are your guys' thoughts here on the Eastern Conference?
Our two teams in the basement at the Penguins. The Penguins are plus 10,000 to win the East, and the Bruins are plus 8,000.
Yeah, we're in a retool era. At least our guys are young. You guys are still have yet to hit the reset button. I don't know. You don't do it until 87 retires, right?
They're just waiting on Crosby. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing.
You were
He
saying at the
deserves
beginning
it.
of the
They're letting him
podcast,
do
you're like,
whatever the fuck he wants. I don't
yeah,
really
saying
care.
at the beginning of the pod, I go to a lot of games. I don't have high expectations, but anytime 87 takes the ice, especially with 71 and 58 as well, you got to embrace that and accept it while you have it. I mean, you're not going to
Yeah,
have that for
last
too
year
much longer.
confirmed last year with Malkin. I mean, Crosby I think will be here again in the future,
Does he
but
retire a Penguin? I don't know. But let's
Malkin
talk
or
about
Crosby?
Crosby said it only
Yeah,
like 6,000
I've seen
times
it.
that he is.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Crosby's not going
But I
anywhere.
love
It's a
entertaining the
bad
trade.
bait story
I
nowadays.
love entertaining the trade rumors when they do come about because just imagine him playing with Nathan McKinnon. That'd be nuts.
He would look so weird. Like there's athletes that have looked weird
Yeah.
in other jerseys. Like you think of even like Brady, your guy. Like
Yeah, I said it
still
about
think
Tom
seeing
Brady.
him in a Bucks jersey looks weird, but he won a Super Bowl there, so it's like there's iconic pictures of him in Tampa, but like people think of him as a Patriot. Like there's other guys that you could think of that you're like,
Hey, Wayne Gretzky did it. I mean, a lot of goats of their sports have done it. Bobby Orr did it. Not Bobby Orr. Ray Bourque did it. He went from the Bruins to the Avalanche and won a cup. The thing is, Crosby's not chasing a cup. He's already had.
Yeah, he has his 3.
It's not like he needs to go get one like a lot of these other stars do when they leave.
If he had 1 and he needed like 2 to go tie with like Lemieux has 2 and like all the guys that have 2 that did it more than
for
once,
his
like
legacy.
I could see him have entertained it in the past 5 years. Like, all right, this team's on the downhill. I need a second cup, but like he literally has 3, been there 4 times. I think there's, obviously the
one
dream
thing
in Pittsburgh, the lottery ticket over in Penn State. We're hoping we get McKenna, but
Gavin McKenna, yeah,
that'd be awesome.
The one thing to watch out for, though, Huff, I know you guys, I agree with you. I don't think he ever leaves. Hockey's more of a loyal sport than any of them. Potentially, though, when Malkin hangs him up, when Letang hangs him up, because I think he outlasted both of them.
I think both of them retire at the end of this year.
Yeah, when those guys are all gone and you lose a lot of his veteran presence and they actually truly start to embrace the rebuild, maybe eventually his last saving grace for your franchise is bringing in a lot of assets and going on one half a season type run. It's really that bad of down here. But I don't see it happening.
Looking up. I forget the site, but like I always look up like NHL teams projected lineups and power plays, and they do it really nice with like all the jerseys. I feel like everyone looks at the same site when they look that
Daily
up.
Faceoff.
Yeah, that's what it is. Daily Faceoff. Our third and fourth lines is not good. I like Novak and Tomasino, but like we are not. Our defense is terrible. Like we have some scary depth. Huh?
Who's in net?
Oh, Jari, you're my boy.
Oh God, how is he still going?
They did bring in that Seelovs guy. I think you'll see him a lot.
Yeah, when Jerry goes cold and has to be waved down to the AHL, and then he gets hot again when he comes back up. It's the same old story.
Who knows? We'll probably see Fleury back up here at some point.
Yeah, you're not wrong. But yeah, enough talk on them. I'll give a quick one on my Bruins. I do think that Swayman has a big year for the Bruins after last year starting with the contract negotiations and holding out until the beginning of the season. I think he really bounces back and shows he's a top 10 goaltender because he had that skill. But
neither of us gave a pick in the East, yeah.
Yeah, let's get back to our Eastern Conference here. It's like the same old story. You have the Hurricanes up there to come out of the East. It's like the Dallas Stars of the East. Can they do it? I mean, the roster's so loaded, but how many times can they get to Eastern Conference Finals and completely fold? We talked about the Florida Panthers. I don't think they do it. Sasha Barkov is out for the whole year, and everybody likes to highlight Kachuk and Bobrovsky and Marchand and Bennett, but Sasha Barkov is the best player on their team, and he's out for the full year with that knee injury sustained in the preseason. So without him, he's your best lockdown center. Other teams can actually get stuff going. I don't see a 3-peat happening in the NHL. I don't even see him getting back to the Cup. Yeah, I think they make the playoffs, but Kachuk is out for 4 to 6 months, and Barkov's out the whole year. That's 2 of your best players. I don't see a repeat happening there. It's pretty wide open in the East. Huff, do you think the Rangers can turn it back around with Igor in the pipes? I think it's very awesome to see, but maybe it's a long shot this year. Maybe we see a team like the Red Wings start to turn up a little bit.
That'd be awesome. I would love that.
The Ottawa Senators, we saw them on the brink of becoming stars last year. They're very young. They still have Linus Ullmark in net. And then, of course, the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, we talked about the Hurricanes and their playoff woes. It's another team with playoff woes, but they have a stick team too. And then the Montreal Canadiens, the amount of young skill on that team, they're at least a highlight reel to watch, and they can push for the playoffs. I just can't bank on them. I'm going to go with Mackey's New York Rangers. I think Igor Shesterkin is going to get to a cup in his career. I do think that team is very stacked. The JT Miller injury does scare me, but he's a great captain for this group who's been lacking some leadership the last few years. I think that was one of the big issues, but too talented both offensively, defensively, in the pipes. I'll go with that. That's a good value on that pick too. Let me know who you're thinking about.
I'm gonna say the injury questions around Florida scares me. Obviously, I would hate to bet against him, but I'm gonna stick with the state of Florida. I think Tampa Bay. So my pick was last year
Last
to get
time.
there. As soon as the Lightning got eliminated, I was like, I don't know why I went against the Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately said the Panthers are gonna win the cup. I don't think they do it this year. I do agree with that. The injuries, there's just too much hockey in 3 years, 4 years really, because they lost the year before they won the back to back. I'd say Tampa Bay is my most confident pick to come out of the East.
I like that pick too, and this could be potentially their last big run.
Yeah.
I mean, they have Jake Gensel that they add alongside Braden Point, Victor Hedman, Nikita Kucherov. I don't know how many more Vasilevsky years they have left, but he looked like complete dynamite last year. He plays almost every game in the pipes for them. They haven't had a true backup goalie in over a decade. And yeah, I was right there with you. I had them going to the Cup and losing in the finals last year. So if they get in, that's a scary team to play against. And as long as you don't have to play the fully bolstered Florida Panthers in the Battle of Florida in round 1, I think that's a good pick right there.
That's right, and they give Florida the best run for their money every year, and it's always just because it's a rivalry series, and you miss those two guys, or if Kachuk's banged up like he always is, I think this is a year the Lightning could get back past them.
Yeah, that'd be a good team to have. If they're fully healthy going into the playoffs, they're definitely a force to be reckoned with. And they have the pedigree of having done it. Great coach, great goaltender that carries you a long way, and potentially top player in the league. I know Connor McDavid and stuff. Best player in the East, maybe, with Nikita Kucherov. So interesting to see. And plus, you get a little hometown pick too with your boy Jake Gensel, who should be in the black and gold for you guys still. But
I wish we still had him, but
yeah, he's absolute dynamite down there too. Expecting big things from Tampa Bay this year. Always a fun one to watch.
Heck yeah, boys. Eastern Conference, always a tough one. But let's jump over the Stanley Cup winner here. Who do you guys think? Oilers leading the board here with the Golden Knights, both at plus 800. We have the Hurricanes and the Avalanche plus 850. The Stars at plus 900. We have the Panthers and the Lightning at plus 1100. We have the Devils at plus 1400 and the Maple Leafs at plus 1600. Those are our first 9 there. What do you guys think?
I'm buying that Dallas Stars ticket. I'm buying a Dallas Stars ticket.
What did I say? Tampa versus Vegas. I guess if I have to pick out of those two teams, I'd say Vegas. They're the younger team. If that Tampa team gets there, they're going to be scary. That means
better
Vasilevsky's
goaltending,
probably on fire. I wouldn't mind a ticket on both of those teams, Vegas and Tampa, plus 800, plus 1100. Shop those odds. You probably can get Tampa even higher, around 1400, 1300.
Yeah, and plus you have two great coaches on both those staffs, Bruce Cassidy versus John Cooper. They both have cups to their resume too, so that's nice to see. And I'm just hyped to watch that Vegas one. You've been a bigger Vegas guy than me. I know that's such a crowded West, so it's hard to pick between them. But Mitchie Marner and Jack Eichel, I mean, that's insane to me. I just can't wait to see. It's nice to be able to be a fan of Mitch Marner too, because I'm one of those guys. I'm an anti-Leafs guy, not big on these Canadian teams. But him playing down there, he's going to catch a lot less heat and a lot less pressure on his shoulders, too. There's a lot of different guys that can carry the load in Vegas, so it'll be exciting to see. I'm going to stick with my Dallas Stars ticket. I remember I told you guys last year I bought it at the beginning of the year, and they looked like they were going to go all the way, and they end up falling short once again in the Western Conference playoffs. I think this team is so due. They have so much talent. Maybe this is the coach that really does it for them. I'm going to stick with them. Dallas Stars win the Cup. Too good of a team on paper to win it all, and Jake Ottinger, top 5 goaltender in the league. I'll stick with it.
Heck yeah, boys. Tons of good stuff out of the NHL as that quickly approaches here again. Opening night for that next Tuesday, October 7th. So make sure to stay tuned for all our picks on Instagram and Twitter for all those as that season begins. We got a couple weeks till NBA, but right around the corner there for that as well. Let's jump over the MLB here. A little talk as the playoffs have begun here. The power rankings for this week coming in at number 5, the Toronto Blue Jays. Number 4, the Milwaukee Brewers. Number 3, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Number 2, the New York Yankees. And number 1, the Philadelphia Phillies. What are your guys' thoughts here before we get into the postseason?
Yeah, I mean, you get to see about half these teams play in the first round, which is pretty crazy to see. Like the Dodgers and the Yankees. The Yankees, I think they weren't in my top 5, and that's for a reason. We got talked into putting them in there because of that late run they had to end up in that top wild card spot. Also, it's pretty crazy to note that this wild card format they have right now, the home team gets all 3 games at home. I don't know if I like that too much. I think they might have to fix that going forward, but I understand why they do it. But there's a lot of good teams here. The Phillies, I think, are the only team that can really take out this powerhouse Dodgers. We'll jump into that series when we get there, but the fully healthy Dodgers is a scary, scary team, in my opinion. The Philadelphia Phillies are the only ones that can keep up with them. And I don't even know if they can. Meanwhile, the East is wide open, wide open. Huff, we have the Brewers and the Blue Jays in our top 5, but do you have any faith in them being able to do anything, especially with some of these teams coming out hot in the first round?
No. If I had to give a World Series pick right now, at least what I'm rooting for would probably be like Cubs, Mariners. Just two teams that haven't been there in forever.
Yeah, but can anybody beat the Los Angeles Dodgers is the real question.
I think the Phillies can.
Yeah, but can anybody else?
No.
I don't think so either,
But
especially fully healthy.
the Phillies can beat the Dodgers and the Cubs can beat the Phillies.
You know what's crazy?
That's my route.
Yeah, you know what's crazy though is the Dodgers pitching rotation for this playoffs. Blake Snell just went last night. They have Yamamoto going tonight. Then you have Ohtani. Let's not forget they have Tyler Glasnow, Clayton Kershaw, Roki Sasaki, Emmett Sheehan, and then a lot of good bullpen arms around them. That's very scary. That's like murderer's row. And then last night in Game 1, we saw Ohtani hit a pair of home runs. Teoscar Hernandez hit a pair of home runs. You still have Freddie Freeman and Mookie Betts. There's just so much talent on the Dodgers team. It's super scary. Not to stick with it too much, but I think that's going to be the team to watch out for coming into this first round and the rest of the playoffs.
Alrighty, boys. Lots of good stuff out of the power rankings there. It's time. The 2025 MLB postseason is officially here and got underway Tuesday afternoon. In the wildcard round, we have Detroit and Cleveland, Boston, New York, Chicago, and San Diego, and Cincinnati and Los Angeles. Who do you guys like to come out on top of each of these series? I have them up here. Padres and Cubs here finishing up in the 9th inning. Looks like the Padres might take this one to even out the series.
Yeah, the Padres holding on here. I think this is actually the most competitive. I mean, Yankees-Red Sox is really competitive, but this Padres-Cubs series is potentially the most competitive series in round 1. Yesterday, we saw Nick Pivetta and Matthew Boyd going head-to-head, two guys that had great seasons, veterans coming over to their new team in their first year, and they absolutely dealt, and the Cubs held on to win that game at home, which definitely helped out. Without their guy, Justin Steele, they're still here in this spot. They brought in Kyle Tucker for a reason. That's a nice bat to have. Meanwhile, the Padres push for another win here, and we're going to get a decisive Game 3. I expected this one to go Game 3, and it will. Playing in Wrigley, I'm going to stick with the Cubs here. I think that they are able to get the job done. The Padres are very scary, though, if they can move on. I'm not too sold on their pitching staff. I don't know about you, Huff, but they have Yu Darvish going tomorrow. Sometimes good, sometimes shit. That's what we've seen from him throughout the season. He's very old now at his old age, but when he's spinning the ball well, it looks really good. And the Cubs, meanwhile, don't even have a decided starter today after using Boyd in the first game and then using a bullpen game today. So I'm going to guess it's probably Cade Horton.
Cade Horton's hurt.
Oh, he got hurt too?
Yeah.
At the end of the year,
hurt? Where the fuck's Imanaga?
Yeah, I think Imanaga's hurt too. That's why they went with a bullpen game, which is crazy. In that the year that they had was crazy to see by Cade Horton. The fact that he's not going, the fact that Shota's not going in Game 2, maybe that sets him up for Game 3. He was lined up to start, and then they went with a bullpen game last minute.
Maybe it was Shota then tomorrow.
It's got to be. If it is, I do like them against Yu Darvish. You get the two Asian pitchers coming over and making their start.
But my series picks here, I'll give these up, or I'll give my series picks here while you're looking at that. But I think Cleveland wins tomorrow when you're listening to this on Thursday. I think they win Game 3 over Detroit. They're going with Flaherty on the mound for the Tigers. He's been terrible this year, so fade him there in that spot.
Slade Ciccone.
And then what's next? Chicago, San Diego. I said I think the Cubs get past that. I'll take the Cubs in Game 3 there.
We talked about the Padres all year long, though. Does that lineup scare you at all with how much talent is it?
Yeah, but I feel like they always kind of do this in the playoffs. I could see, and I think the Cubs team is kind of hot.
I think the Cubs are good, too.
The home field advantage. They're a very good team. I just think that's a tough matchup for the Padres on the road there. So I'll go Cleveland, the Cubs. I think the Dodgers sweep tonight, and then I think your Red Sox win the series, but I do think it goes to 3 tomorrow.
I do think they sweep them tonight, and Aaron Boone loses his job finally. Finally. I mean, the Yankees.
Is that what talks? If they lose this wild card series, are they going to fire him?
Yeah, probably. And they've been clamoring for that for how long have Yankees fans been hating on this guy? And he's saving his job just because he hit an important home run in 2003, in my opinion. But yeah, I mean, the fact that they got home field advantage, they had Max Fried, and now they have Carlos Rodon lined up. I know you didn't have Garrett Cole, but the lineup decisions he made last night, they had Jazz Chisholm and Ben Rice on the bench. I know they're afraid of the potential Cy Young winner and Garrett Crochet with that lefty-lefty matchup. But some of those guys like Caballero and other bats they had in the lineup, they're not going to do anything. Volpe providing the lone run. So it's just too much wasted talent, in my opinion. The one thing that scares me with your Guardians pick, though, is how thin that lineup is. I mean,
Yeah,
besides
they only had 2 hits today through the 7th inning.
yeah, without Jose Ramirez, everybody else is such a question mark. We got to see the debut of Chase DeLauder, one of the top prospects in the MLB. I think he was the first person to make his MLB playoff debut wearing the MLB debut patch, so that was pretty cool to see. And they have Steven Kwan batting leadoff for him too. He's not a bad piece, but besides all of that, nobody can really hit the ball consistently, and there's nobody I can rely on. But Tanner Bibby's not a bad two to have behind Gavin Williams, who really had his little breakout come this year. Was always a highly touted prospect. I would be more scared of the Tigers if they go to the next round than I would be of the Indians just because of Tariq Skubal. We saw him put that 7.2 inning pitch, 14K performance. First time anybody in MLB history has allowed one runner less than 7+ innings and had 14 Ks. That's just absolutely nuts. But like I said, that's a AAA lineup basically with Jose Ramirez stuck in the middle of it. I do think that the Guardians get the job done at home just because this is the year of choking for the Detroit Tigers. And Huff, I said it before, but I'll say it again. We talked about it throughout the season. The Tigers need to make a veteran bat move, and they didn't do it. And I think that is the big key to this here. Is the fact that they didn't add anybody because they could really use that one extra bat. But we'll see tomorrow. Me in Cleveland, give me the Guardians here, but whoever wins this series, I think is out in the next round. I think the Padres or Cubs, whoever wins that series, could make some noise in the next round. But they're going to run into a powerhouse as well. Do they get the Brewers, the winner of that series, or do they get the Phillies? They get the Brewers, though. I think the winner of that series can take out the Brewers. The Padres.
The winner of what series can take out the Brewers?
Padres Cubs.
Yeah, I agree.
Definitely. And the Brewers, not known for their playoff expertise, a lot of inexperience. I know they have Yelly who's been there, but
next round, best out of 5, right?
Yeah, I believe it's a best of 5.
Yeah, I think it goes 3, 5, 7, 7.
Yeah. Let me just click on it. Divisional round.
Correct.
Yeah. That's crazy to me. I don't really like this playoff format. The only good thing is you get a lot of teams in the playoffs, which is kind of cool, and you get more rivalries. But I don't really think we need to say much on this Reds-Dodgers series other than the fact that the New York Mets have the highest payroll twice in the last 5 years to ever miss the playoffs, and it's an absolute abysmal failure of an organization to miss the playoffs. The Reds played .500 baseball after the All-Star break and backdoored their way into the playoffs. They didn't clinch the playoffs. The Mets just handed it to them. And they had their ace in Hunter Green go yesterday, and he got absolutely shelled, giving up 6 runs in the first 3 innings. And it just shows you the Dodgers are on a whole nother level than this team. And with Yamamoto going tonight after the year that he had, I think they absolutely run them again tonight. There's a generous line on the run line last night, -1.5 plus 100. The book saw that tonight, and they said it's -1.5 to -150 tonight. So there isn't much value there, but I think Ohtani's going to keep cruising a pair of home runs, like I said, and Teoscar Hernandez. Look for them to crush tonight, and then we get Dodgers-Phillies round 2, Huff. That's absolutely insane. So that'll be fun to watch. But Red Sox-Yankees, man, what a series, though. That place was dynamite last night. I don't know if you were watching that game. I had that one on the whole time. Fried and Crochet delivered excellence, both in the top 3s for Cy Young candidates, and they both first-time pitching in the series, this biggest rivalry in baseball, just came over and they delivered gems. That's another thing, though. Do you think Boone pulled Fried too early?
Yeah, it's he was at 102 pitches in the 7th inning. Like, I don't think that was necessarily a bad time to pull him, but definitely always, hindsight's 20/20, but it looks like a bad look whenever you pull him and the next 3 guys go base hit, base hit, base hit.
And the tough thing is, too, the Red Sox had some clutch bats on the bench. Masataka Yoshida, Wilyer Abreu, Nathaniel Lowe, who were glued to the bench because they're the lefty Fried. Kind of like the Yankees having Rice and Chisholm glued to the bench because of the lefty and Crochet. And Boone saying they needed to not stretch out Fried too far because they need him to pitch 3 or 4 times throughout this playoffs if they want to win the World Series. Buddy, you have to get out of the first round. Alex Cora rides Garrett Crochet to 117 pitches. And on the 117th, he paints the corner for 100+ to strike out Austin Wells. So, I mean, just 2 different philosophies of coaching. I like what Cora did, bringing in people at the right time. Nick Sogard delivering the clutch double, and then Yoshida hitting the clutch hit. It's not the big name sometimes. Meanwhile, we saw the Yankees, Aaron Judge, do absolutely nothing. Yeah, he got that late hit off Chapman, and I mean, that was absolutely nails. Chapman slamming the door shut, giving all this hope to the Yankees in the 9th inning, loading the bases just to strike out 2 and get one to fly out to end it. So I expect some more fireworks tonight. I think it's going to be maybe some more runs, but Brian Bayo against the Yankees, I think both Judge and Stanton are batting under 200 against them in their career, and Carlos Rodon has a 5.94 ERA against the Red Sox in the season. So it'll be interesting to see that game starting off here now, actually. So
literally right now, Rodon's on the mound warming up.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to watch this one, but yeah, I think that the Red Sox had this one. I think they're going to sweep them. I really do. I know it's a tough matchup, but I think that the Yankees were so shook about blowing that game yesterday that it's going to come back to haunt them here tonight. But we'll keep you updated as we're watching and recording here. But in the next round, I think both underdogs, or definitely the winner of the Red Sox-Yankees series, can move on. But the other series, I don't see the Guardians or Tigers making much noise past this round. AL Central, weakest division in baseball, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of good stuff. The MLB postseason is here, so make sure you stay tuned to our Instagram and Twitter for all our picks on that. Lots of good stuff as these games continue each night, so stay tuned for that. Let's jump over to the NFL here, starting out with our power rankings here for this week. Coming into week 5, they are as followed. Coming in at number 5, the Kansas City Chiefs. Number 4, the Los Angeles Rams. Number 3, the Detroit Tigers. Number 2, the Buffalo Bills. And number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. What are your guys' thoughts here on this one?
I think the Tigers could make some noise in the NFL this season.
Did I say Tigers?
Oh, yeah.
What'd I say?
Detroit Tigers. Jared Goff.
We were just talking
against the
baseball.
Guards tonight. No,
I didn't notice it.
both teams going to be playoff teams this year. I think the Lions really turned it around. They had that statement win over the Ravens a couple weeks ago. That's why they're in this power ranking, in my opinion. Yeah, they got beat by the Packers. Off that Packers team falling back down to earth, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, that defense
right back to reality after a loss to the Browns. I was going to say, heading into the NFL, I think it's the first week we've been able to say all of our teams went quote unquote undefeated this weekend.
I guess they were undefeated.
2-0-1. Mackey didn't lose. Held his own down there.
Good showing too. Without CeeDee Lamb, Dak Prescott absolutely exposed that Packers defense. There were some holes in that Swiss cheese from Green Bay. What was it, 30, 40 points?
You know how they always say, like in a tie, one team won the tie, one team lost the tie. Cowboys, definitely, that's a win. Packers, that's a big loss.
Yeah, and the thing is, everybody was clowning me last week. I was like, Cowboys money line. I think they're going to play a good football game. And they ended up playing a great game. Micah Parsons completely neutralized. Jadeveon Clowney showing up for the Cowboys. Jake Ferguson is the target hog, and your boy George Pickens. I mean, that guy's a stud. He's a wide receiver one wherever he goes, and he slotted into that role well.
I hit a couple next touchdowns in that game, like no crazy amount. So I just kept like throwing 20, 25 on the next one and just kept, something to keep me awake, I think is what I said. And then at one point, I forget who took the lead. I think the Cowboys took the lead when the Packers had to go right down the field. So I was like, all right, I'm going to throw 50 on the Packers. Then the Packers tied it or however it went. And then I was like, okay, now I can get the Cowboys at plus 180. So I was just like, cool. Now I have plus 150, plus 180. I don't care who wins this game.
And nobody did, so you got your money back.
Yeah, literally it was a wash the whole way. I was like, the one time I hedge, it's a push. Both ways.
It was a fun one to watch. The Romeo Dobbs really showed up. He had a hat trick of touchdowns. I kind of saw that coming. You want to hear a crazy thing? I had him in my lineup all week for fantasy and my flex. Day of, I make a trade for Tyreek Hill. 3 hours before the game, take him out, and he's on my bench with 3 touchdowns. Meanwhile, I did go pretty crazy in that Sunday Night Football slate. It would have been nice to hit that Cowboys money line prop, but it pushed, I guess. 3-0-1 on Sunday Night Football, 4-0 on Monday Night Football. So I'm seeing the board well. So I'm excited to keep going in football here this week.
Yeah, that would have been a massive. I mean, you had a massive week anyway, but
yeah, plus 14.5 units already. Jeez, feeling it. And look at the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs are getting kind of my Tom Brady treatment for Patrick Mahomes right now. They were 0-2. They started 0-2 after Mahomes just went to 3 straight Super Bowls. I was like, they're done. They're terrible, and they just absolutely trounced. They won on Sunday Night Football on the road, and then they trounced the Baltimore Ravens to injure everybody and put a damper on their season. But I think this team is absolutely back. Xavier Worthy's back. They're 2 weeks away from Rashee Rice, too. I mean, Patrick Mahomes is here, and he's here to stay. That's a scary team to play against as they get hot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we got the right top 5.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of good stuff there. Let's jump into our Week 4 recap here with Week 4 of the 2025 NFL season. Kicked off Thursday night with an exciting matchup between the Seahawks and the Cardinals. Arizona tied the score at 20 with 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter, but Seattle drove down for a winning 52-yard field goal by Jason Myers as time expired. Sunday's action begun in Dublin, Ireland, as the Steelers beat the Vikings 24-21 in the second international game of the season. Back in the United States, the Patriots and Falcons bounced back from Week 3 losses with victories over the Panthers and Commanders, respectively. Giants rookie quarterback Jackson Dart shocked the Chargers in his debut, handing them their first loss of the season. In the late window Sunday, the Rams ended the Colts' hot start with 2 interceptions off quarterback Daniel Jones, both by Los Angeles cornerback Cam Curl. The Chiefs dominated against the Ravens. The quarterback Lamar Jackson left in the third quarter because of a hamstring injury, and the Bears blocked a field goal attempt in the final minute of play for a 1-point win over the Raiders. On Sunday night, the Green Bay Packers tied the Dallas Cowboys in an overtime thriller as Micah Parsons returned to Dallas. Monday night's schedule included a gruesome injury to Miami Dolphins receiver Tyreek Hill, who suffered a dislocated knee in the Dolphins' win over the New York Jets, and the Broncos earned a convincing win over the Cincinnati Bengals in the other Monday night game. But it is now time for Week 5. Let's jump into Thursday night. We have the 49ers and the Rams in LA. Rams are the favorite here, 7.5 points for them. The total sitting at 45.5 in this matchup. Who wants to get us started on this one?
Yeah, I'll take this one here just to get us going. I mean, the Los Angeles Rams look like one of the best teams in football. Puka Nacua definitely looks like the best receiver in football. The numbers he's putting up are absolutely insane, and they're getting both running backs involved with Kenneth Walker and Blake Corum. I mean, Matthew Stafford, it looks like he has a clone going on, even though he confirmed it's not, and he is a wide receiver's absolute dream at quarterback, and he's just dealing the ball really well, and they're getting good wins. They got blessed last week by Adonai Mitchell fumbling that ball at the 1 yard line and not putting them ahead. But it was a good comeback victory for the Rams, and they ended up covering the spread. I think they're able to win here again tonight, going against a pretty banged-up team in the divisional rival. That defense for the Rams is playing strong, too. Jared Verse, a very strong defensive player, and I think McVay's a great coach, too. I'm looking for them to stay hot and looking for Puka Nacua to stay strong, potentially get in the end zone, but at least put up double-digit catches in a big yardage day. A great prop spot. What are you thinking about this game?
Yeah, I agree with basically everything you said. I think the 49ers are a pretty fake 3-1 team with all the injuries that they have. I think their record is a lot better than that team really is right now, at least. They just lost Ricky Pearsall for this game,
And
so he won't be suiting up. The injury bug just continues to strike the 49ers over the past few years. 7.5 points is too much for me to lay in a divisional game. I lean on the Rams. I guess you'd say -7, 7.5 there, but that's a tough number in a divisional matchup. I do like a couple props in this game. I was looking at obviously Nacua with the year that he's had. Kyron Williams maybe to score. I think this will be a pretty high scoring bout, at least for the Rams side of things. I do lean on the under. I just don't see much coming from the 49ers side of the ball.
Yeah, and you talk about the injury bug. It's crazy because now they're without Juwan Jennings. They're without Ricky Pearsall. They're already without Brandon Ayuk. At least they have Christian McCaffrey playing, but George Kittle's not in the mix this week. On the defensive side of the ball, they lost Nick Bosa for the year. It's actually pretty crazy the way that Kyle Shanahan's coaching up this team to be at this record. Kudos to them. I think if they're all healthy, this is one of the more dangerous teams in the NFC. It seemed like they rushed Brock Purdy back, but it almost ended up in a good spot. They almost came back and beat the Jaguars last week, but Brock Purdy was too loose with the football, making me question if he's fully healthy. Fumbles, interceptions, whatnot. But Christian McCaffrey, absolute nails, getting the ball done, 100 all-purpose yards. I look for him to find the end zone once again and to have a strong game. Kendrick Bourne's going to have to step up in that receiving room. I believe they have Sky Moore as well. And some Tongas, I believe, the rookie tight end or a young tight end they have.
Yeah.
He's found the end zone a couple times too. But I like the under in this one. Give me the Rams in the under. I do think that the 49ers are able to cover the 7.5 points because, like you said, I'll stick with 7.5 points, a divisional Thursday night matchup. That's always a good thing to take. But I think it's going to be a lower scoring game here on a short week.
Yeah, I lean on under 45.5.
All righty, good stuff for Thursday night football here. Let's move into Sunday here. Another international game here. This one in London, I believe. I don't even know.
There's a lot of, what do we have, 4 or 5 international games in a row now?
Yeah, we're on that stretch of them. This one's London.
We're going to have upwards of 32 next year.
It's crazy.
2 per team.
2 per team in the same year?
Yeah.
Where'd you hear that?
Goodell said he wants to do 1.
I heard 16 total, so each team has 1.
I heard 16, but he said it'd be nice if we could do 2 per team.
Oh, God.
I don't see that ever happen. That's crazy.
I do. I think this league is going downhill really fast. Yeah, I think we're going to see 3 or 4 international teams within the next 3 years.
Did you see the crowds at that Dublin game?
3-4 years.
No way.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen really fast.
I will stand on that. There will not be a team outside of America within the next 5 years.
Oh, I think there'll be at least 1 or 2. I could see 2.
Not in Europe. I could say.
I don't know about Europe, but outside the U.S. for sure.
Mexico City would be the first thing they even consider.
South America?
I think they go South America before they go Mexico.
Because of the time zones for South America versus Europe?
I think they care about that.
Well, I think the travel, I mean, from London to San Francisco.
That is such a failing idea of no free agents are going to sign with those teams. No one's going to want to play for those teams.
But
look at
the NFL gets their money, but as soon as that team
you look at the
gets
fans
the
that
lead.
show out for these games, it's absolutely nuts. I mean, they are completely packed. The merchandise goes crazy. They're dying for it. And that was just the first one in Dublin. I mean, London's been showing out for a while now. I think that would be a good
London, they've been
expansion
doing this
spot.
for a while.
Yeah, over a decade, I feel like.
Yeah, I don't even know. But let's keep going here. Vikings and the Browns, like I said, they're in London here, but the Vikings the favorite here, considered the away team. Vikings 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -200. Browns plus 165. The total at 36.5. What are your guys' thoughts here on this early matchup?
How massive is it that the Vikings were just in Europe last week, so they don't have to make the trip overseas like the Browns are? They're there back-to-back weeks. I think that's very helpful. They just played a stingy Steelers team, and they get a really tough Browns defense. But the Dylan Gabriel debut with Joe Flacco at the 2 and Shadur Sanders at the 3 on the depth chart here. Quinshaw Junkins, he's really that's a home run right there, a 2-run shot for the Yankees. You hate to see it. But back to this game, I mean, Quinshaw Junkins really jumping onto the scene with almost 100 all-purpose yards for the Browns last week. Isaiah Bond is looking good too. So they're getting their rookies involved early and often. Harold Fannin Jr. Maybe it'd be nice to get David Njoku going. Jerry Jeudy on the men too. So it's going to be interesting to see what Gabriel can do. And that's a very strong Vikings defense. I think you could probably take the under here, but that's a low number that Jesse mentioned. I don't know if I can actually touch a number that low, but I think the Vikings get the job done. They showed a little bit of hope towards the end against your Steelers team, who's playing good football right now. And I think that getting Addison back in the mix is helpful too.
You looked good last week.
Yeah, and he almost had that long touchdown, but Jordan Mason looks solid. Carson Wentz up and down, but he threw for over 300. I think they're able to do enough. I don't see Gabriel keeping the starting job too long. Maybe we'll get to see Shadur at some point, but I like the Vikings in the under here.
Yeah, I like the exact same side of things. I'm not going to take the Vikings here. I'm not sold on Carson Wentz and what he's doing over there in Minnesota. I do like the under. I think this is primetime London under territory. Two good defenses, two offenses I'm not high on at all. So give me under 36.5.
This will be London's 43rd game.
That's crazy. So yeah, it has to have been over a decade. I feel like maybe 2010 around then they probably started.
Yeah, I don't even know. I can't even find that, to be honest with you. But yeah, I don't care for these international games. I think they're great for the people in attendance, but I think it's a terrible product for TV, which is where 90% of the cash.
I don't mind waking up when it involves my team.
Yeah, I like when it doesn't involve my team. I don't mind waking up to one game. And you know what's pretty cool last week is how y'all went to overtime, and it basically went right up to the 1 o'clock slate, and we flew right into football. So you get a full.
We go to overtime. It did drag out.
Oh yeah, it didn't go to overtime, but it was right there on the brink. If it did go to overtime, it might have bled into the 1 o'clock.
It probably would have cut in. Yeah, it didn't end until like 12:45.
Yeah, our game averaged like 7 million viewers or something, which is incredibly terrible for the NFL. An average NFL game does like 17 million. So
trying to grow the game.
Yeah, not good. Not a good thing for the game. Bad thing for the game. All right, but let's keep it moving here. Next matchup here, starting the 1 o'clock slate, Raiders and the Colts here. Colts at home. They're the favorite as well. 7 points for them. The total sitting at 48 for these two. What do you guys think is going to happen here in Indianapolis this week?
I'll take us here. I think the Colts get back on a win streak. 7 points is a lot, but if I had to take a spread here, it'd be 7 with Indianapolis at home. I just think this Raiders team is pretty bad. It's looking like Jacoby Myers could be back on the trade block with them any week now. I think this Colts team's a lot better than people give them credit for. They're, a fumble away from possibly being 4-0 here and looking at 5-0 right here against the Vegas Raiders at home. I'm going to take Indy here -7.
Yeah, Adonai Mitchell, how big of a question. I mean, he costed them massively. He had a hold on that long Jonathan Taylor touchdown, and he fumbled that play out for a touchback. He cost them big time. I don't think they were talking to him in the locker room last week. But I'll tell you what, if the Colts somehow drop this game to the Vegas Raiders, the panic button is going to be hit big time in Indianapolis. After starting 3-0, this is a must-win spot, in my opinion. You can't be dropping a game to the Vegas Raiders after all you've done so far for the success you've had. I look for Jonathan Taylor to have a big game. He's definitely going to find the end zone this week after not finding it last week. He got snubbed by Tyler Warren and Michael Pittman with 2-yard scores, respectively. I do think that Ashton Genty does pose a bit of a threat here, though. The Rams ran the ball pretty well against the Colts last week. We saw Genty absolutely burst onto the scene. His best game as a pro. He had 2 long touchdowns. He had 3 total touchdowns, a few through the air and on the ground. They got him back to that that stance that he was running in college. I think that's probably a big thing about it. But Geno Smith throwing 3 interceptions in less than 100 yards is the big difference maker here, which is crazy because coming into week 4, he was one of the leaders in passing yards. I just am not sold on him at this point in his career and what he has to work with. A terrible O-line. They have to get Brock Bowers more involved. And maybe they funnel Jacoby Myers the ball, like you said, so they can end up moving him. As we know, he did request a trade earlier in the year. But I think, I'm going to go with the Colts here. I think they do get back on track. I think it's a little bit scary considering how the Raiders played a tough one last week against the Bears and almost stole that game if it wasn't for a block kick. That pass rush is pretty mean too, but you're able to neutralize it with a good O-line that the Colts have and a good run game that they have. Give me the Colts here. 7's a lot. I'll take Jonathan Taylor's score and the Colts on the money line.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of good stuff there. Another 1 o'clock matchup here. Giants and Saints in New Orleans. Saints still winless here, but they're the favorite. 2 points for them. Minus 130 on the money line. Giants plus 110. And the total sitting at 42. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
Spencer Rattler's losing this football game. I don't think he can win a football game.
Yeah, he's now what 0-10. I think he's a part of the illustrious 0-10 club. You got to think the Giants are going to be a popular pick here because not a lot of people are trusting the Saints to put their money on. But how do you not take the Giants in this spot with what Jackson Dart just showed you? Beat the world, beat the big bad LA Chargers that everyone had in the top 5 as AFC West champions and dubbing them to Super Bowl contenders. Now going down to NOLA, you're a 2-point dog. That doesn't sit right with me. I have to say the Giants are going to win this game, but that's a scary line.
How much are we all putting the Giants money line on our card this week?
No Malik Neighbors in this game. We didn't touch on that. That's definitely
what a gruesome injury. The MetLife Field Stadium, the turf, stealing another superstar, Odell Beckham Jr. tweeting out his condolences and the fact that they need to outlaw turf in these games. It's taken too many, especially your homegrown stars. How would you not protect them?
I heard something, and this made me so mad. They said that because 2 teams play on that field in MetLife that they can't do grass.
I mean,
if there's 2 teams, you have 2 fields.
Yeah. And the amount of money they have on between both teams, they can't maintain it.
Like it doesn't make sense. You're telling me SoFi doesn't do it. You're telling me these other places, in Vegas, they move the damn grass outside so they can grow it.
Yeah, they could. That's a lame excuse for the stadium. Maybe you just have to put up a dome stadium of some sorts. Whatever it may be.
I promise.
I'm surprised New York doesn't have a dome.
Superstars left and right. You lose Odell Beckham Jr., you lose Malik Neighbors, and it's your own guys. You wouldn't try and protect them? I don't get it. But it is nice to see Jackson Dart jump onto the scene. I think he's absolute dynamite. He had that nice touchdown run. That's a very strong Chargers defense. People like to talk about Justin Herbert and whatnot in that offense, but he went up and beat a good Chargers defense. Cam Scatabo looks like the RB1. They have a complete culture shift for Dayball there with Dart and Scatabo leading the way. I know Malik is out, but I really like Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a strong receiver who can soak up 10-plus targets and take over that wide receiver 1 role. He's not as dynamic as Neighbors, but he's a good player. They have Darius Slayton behind him. They also have Theo Johnson at the tight end spot. I think they'll do just fine. And that pass rush and defense for the Giants is absolutely nails with Abdul Carter, Kayvon Thibodeau, Dexter Lawrence, who potentially could be traded. They have a good secondary as well with Newman and some of these other guys. I'm looking for the Giants to win this week as dogs. I'm absolutely shocked that they're dogs. Do you think I should lock that one in, Jesse, before the line changes? Do you think it'll shift to the Giants?
I don't know.
Is it a trap spot?
This line doesn't really ever make any sense to me.
I'm telling you, there's going to be so much money on the Giants, but I just don't see it not it.
Do you think when we get to Sunday, though, it's going to be favored in the Giants' favor?
If anything, it would be because there's so much money on them.
Yeah.
I really don't know if it'll go through the line. I think it'll go right up to the pick'em.
Yeah.
This could be an early lock-in.
This could I could see this close at Giants +1/-1 because they're basically
-105.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to look at. Meanwhile,
bro, they're right now +110.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? Chris Olave. You know what else though? The Saints just played a good football game against the Buffalo Bills. They got costed by a block or running into the kicker on a punt that could have lost in the game. Let's note that too, because the Bills just won back-to-back games against bad teams, and the Dolphins and the Saints, that of running into the kicker on a punt on a 4th down that was crucial for them to come back and win the game, got them the ball back. So Bills, I don't know, something going on there. We'll have to talk about that when we get to Sunday Night Football. But the Saints played well. Chris Olave looked good. I know they still have Kamara, but Kendre Miller looks good too. Talking about superstars that need to leave their hometown. I know Kamara wants to stay in NOLA, but he needs to go somewhere else, maybe to the Saints or to the Chiefs or something like that, and chase a ring. But I'm not sold on their offense. And now Jawan Johnson, who's been one of their main staples in the offense, is questionable this week. I don't know. I don't see much. Give me Jackson Dart here to go 2-0 to start his career.
I don't think that's a bad play, but we will see come Sunday here, that 1 o'clock game. Let's jump over this next one here. Cowboys and Jets in New York. Cowboys are the favorite here. 2.5 points for them. Their money line at -150. The Jets at +125, and the total sitting at 47.5. What do you guys think here? Jets still winless as well. What are you guys' thoughts?
Are you scared that the Cowboys were so hyped up for that game last week against the Packers that they lay an egg this week?
I definitely could see that, but I think the Jets are a dumpster fire, as
Me
everyone
too.
always
They're
knows
awful.
and always are. I mean, Aaron Glenn doesn't look like he has built any kind of a culture there. That team looks like they're in shambles. They
Their
put up.
defense went down, and they just brought in a defensive mind.
That's what I don't understand it. I think they need to totally clean house there, and whether that's trust Aaron Glenn to do so and give him a rebuild, but I just don't see this Jets team win many games this year. I'm going to say the Cowboys win this one. I'll take the 2.5 with Dallas on the road. It's a tough spot, but the way Dallas just put up 40 points on Green Bay, I just can't fade that right now because this Jets defense is not going to contain this Cowboys offense.
Yeah, and that Cowboys defense that was so weak, yeah, they'll probably give up points. I kind of like the over in this game, too. Fields looked good. I saw them play last week in Miami in person, and Fields had some moments. The O-line's really weak there. Garrett Wilson is a premier receiver in the league. He's like that image you always see of the Lamborghini at the trap house being covered over, and I think that's truly Garrett Wilson, one of the best receivers in the league. If he was anywhere else, he'd be considered almost top 5. Breece Hall looked pretty good, too, and Mason Taylor, Jason Taylor's son, is jumping on the scene as a reliable threat. And Justin Fields can obviously run in those touchdowns. We saw the 50-yard scamper he had last week. So I do look for him to put up some points, but I think the Cowboys win. Dak Prescott's a top quarterback, top 10, top 12 quarterback in this league, and it's for a reason. Without CeeDee Lamb, he can still get the job going. Look for George Pickens to completely eat once again. Yeah, he'll be matched up with Sauce, but he hasn't shown to be the cornerback that he once was dubbed a couple of years ago. In that running game led by Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders, they're finding juice between those two guys, both solid veterans that at one point were considered RB1s in their career, and now they look fully healthy, and they're committing to him. And then Jake Ferguson, is he a top tight end in the league? I think he really is. Look for them to grab another win here this week, and a crucial win for the Cowboys if they want to clinch the playoffs. Look for the Jets to stay winless. The only thing I'm worried about, Huff, kind of similar to that Giants game, is how much money is going to be on the Cowboys this week.
A lot. A tight line, a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. But I'm going to disregard that. Give me the Giants and the Cowboys. I like both those. You're going to see both those in my card this week. That's crazy. NFC East, let's go.
NFC East, here we go. Lots of good stuff there, but let's keep moving through this 1 o'clock slate here. Broncos and Eagles in Philadelphia. The Eagles are the favorite here. 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -210. Broncos at +170. The total sitting at 43.5. What do you guys think about this one here? Eagles still undefeated. Any thoughts?
The Eagles are pulling what the Chiefs did last year. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but they're winning these close games that people are saying they could be 1-3 or 0-4. I'm like, any given Sunday, it doesn't matter. You get the win on the board, and they're undefeated. I know there's clamorings about moving A.J. Brown because he doesn't see the ball, and it's a Pop Warner offense. I don't care. They're winning football games and beating good teams. That Bucs almost staged a good comeback there. They held on to win. That's crazy to me that they're winning games without even unlocking A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley. They're getting the job done with Jalen Hurts and Dallas Goedert and strong defensive play, getting key turnovers and doing whatever it takes to win, and that's a good football team to me. They're on that winning streak, and they're number 1 in my power rankings for a reason, innocent until proven guilty. I think that Eagles defense led by Jalen Carter and those strong guys on the outside are able to clamp down Bo Nix, who just had a very, very light matchup against the Bengals at home on Monday Night Football. I know he's getting Sutton involved, and J.K. Dobbins looks good with R.J. Harvey behind him. Troy Franklin and Mims are both playing strong football there too, and their defense is supposed to be pretty solid. I like the defending champions here to beat the Broncos this week. I don't think the Broncos are going to be a playoff team this year. This is another game they drop. Give me the Eagles here to win this one.
Yeah, I agree. I like the Eagles minus the 3.5 at home. The past 2 weeks I've faded the Eagles with the Rams, at least in picks. I didn't actually bet either of them, but the Rams with the points, I think they were +4 in the game where they got the block kick, ran back for the Eagles, ended up covering that. And then last week I gave out, I didn't post these, but for this sake, when I'm saying giving out picks on the pod, I think I said Tampa Bay +3.5 there. They couldn't complete that comeback. I'm going to hop on the Eagles here. Whether that trend switches, I don't know, but I like the Eagles minus the 3.5. I just can't catch myself in that spot again. It could be a close game, but I could see Eagles at least win this game by 4.
I'll tell you
I
what,
just don't want to jump on the Broncos hype yet. They just killed a very, very bad
weak
Bengals
team,
team.
Jake Browning.
Terrible team. I don't think that roster is good at all. With Burrow or without Burrow, it definitely looks a lot different with number 9 under center. But I don't think that's a good roster around him at all, around Chase and Burrow. But give me the Eagles here minus the 3.5. I don't want to overreact too much. Also, a short week for Denver, traveling to Philly, not an easy place
At
to
home,
play.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Eagles at home minus 3.5 to get to 5-0.
Yeah, I'll buy the half a point and take them -3. You might see that on my card. I'll tell you what, we didn't see Jalen Hurts get in the end zone with a tush push last week. It was Dallas Goedert on 2 short TDs. So I bet you we see that this week. I wouldn't be surprised. But look for them to maybe give a squeaky wheel treatment to A.J. Brown. He keeps complaining that much about not getting the ball and potentially being traded. You have to feed your wide receiver one at some point, and I think they could do it.
Wouldn't mind my Steelers going to get him.
Yeah, there's all these rumors about him leaving. I don't think he leaves, though. It'd be a big
Or
dead
your
cat.
Patriots. He's like a fucking
Yeah.
fanboy of the
Yeah,
Patriots.
and they keep saying, everybody keeps saying that. It's one of those things though where it's like the player wants to be moved, people want him to be moved, but the Eagles are like, we're not moving AJ Brown.
Yeah, like why would Howie Roseman sitting up there like I make some good trades, not bad trades.
Yeah, I know he's not being used. They don't care. They're winning football games. If they were losing games and he wasn't being used, yeah, I'd question it heavily. But
Yeah.
if you're doing whatever it takes to win a game and you still have that piece waiting to be unlocked, why would you change it up? I don't know.
Because one of these weeks he's gonna have 2 touchdowns and 120
When they need him.
yards.
When they need him. You just don't need him yet. I'm completely fine with him being healthy. Him and Smith, you don't see anybody else complaining. They haven't even fully unlocked Saquon Barkley yet. So I just think some of those big games are coming for the Eagles. They're just
I
playing
do
winning
think this
football.
Eagles team would look a lot different though if you trade him and Devontae Smith. Now your number 1 receiver.
I think so too, because it draws coverage differently. I don't trust anybody else behind them. I think you have to respect the threat of A.J. Brown as a receiving option.
Sure.
If he's gone, it limits the offense. You can kind of tighten up that box to cover Hurts and Barkley.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how that plays out. But I don't know. Eagles are a good football team. Everybody definitely brings their best against them too. That's the other thing. Defending champion on a big win streak. Yeah, I think that they handle business, especially at home here this week.
Heck yeah, boys. Going to be a good one there at 1 o'clock. Let's keep going here. 2 more 1 o'clock games. All these teams with 1-3 records here. Starting out the Dolphins and the Panthers here. Panthers at home. Dolphins the favorite. 1.5 points for them. Their money line at -118 here on BetMGM. Panthers at -102. Total sitting at 44.5. What do we think about this one?
Such a weird game.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here, even though they just lost Tyreek. I'm a big Bryce Young supporter. I like the Panthers. I don't think the Panthers are good. You're not gonna see me bet the Panthers in this spot. They just got killed by your Patriots. This is kind of a good spot to buy low on the Panthers, sell high on the Dolphins off their first win. But I think the Dolphins might have found something there in that win.
Me too.
Obviously, get another one for Tua. For Tyreek, but I could see this, be another get right game. You just have the Jets at home in the prime time. You go to Carolina. This isn't a tough road spot. Don't be surprised.
I mean, the last time the Panthers were at home though, they did put up a shutout.
Yeah, against that Falcons team. So, I don't know.
Lefty
I'm on
quarterback.
Miami.
Maybe they just fiend playing the lefty quarterbacks. You go from Penix to Tua.
True. I'm on Miami here. I think they found something in that win. The vibes look a little better down there. I think winning cures everything, and I think they could find themselves on a little bit of a win streak here with 2 to get to 2-3.
I'm right there with you on the Dolphins. I think they win this week. Mike McDaniels is a great offensive mind, right? And you're going against a very, very weak Panthers defense that has nothing. They've shown me nothing. I know they had that shutout. I think that's an outlier. I'm going to look at the other 3 losses here this year. And in this owner's tenure as a Panthers owner, I heard Big Cat talk about this. They have like 37 wins over in like 90 something.
With Pepper, I did hear that too.
Yeah, that's crazy. They just can't win games. And how many times have they won back-to-back games? Not very many. Oh wow,
outside of 2015.
Crazy playing the Red Sox to load the bases on a bunt. But yeah, back to this game. The Dolphins, Mike McDaniel is a great offensive mind. I think he unleashes everything. Did you like the emergence of Darren Waller coming back in his first game? That's a great red zone threat.
I didn't expect that, but I think that'll be a big help this week against Carolina.
And I'll tell you what, you remember how Jonnu Smith was kind of written off a couple years ago and done with his career? Mike McDaniel revitalized Jonnu Smith. And you want to know why that is? You have to respect the speed of Achane and Waddle. And I know that Tyreek Hill's gone, but who is it? Malik Washington, I believe it is.
Yeah, Malik Washington.
He has a lot of speed too. So that opens up the middle of the field. And Darren Waller is one of the biggest guys in the league. We forget how great he was as a Raider too. That's a big spot for him. I look for him to score another touchdown, be involved heavily. Meanwhile, Achane and Ollie Gordon Thunder and Lightning. HM ran for 99 yards last week and got in the end zone. He's so shifty, one of the best backs in the league for a reason. And Ollie Gordon looks good too. I think that defense led by Minkah Fitzpatrick and a couple other names is going to start stepping up. Look for the Dolphins to win this week and get a second win and kind of prove that it's still early. It's not cold out yet. And we're the Dolphins. We can put up some points. I don't think Bryce Young can compete with that. Jalen Coker might be back in the mix this week, though. Torrey McMillan has looked good. If you get Coker back, another weapon for Bryce Young. But like I said, I don't trust that defense at all.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, boys. Like I said, just one more 1 o'clock game here. These teams 1-3 on the year. Texans and Ravens. I don't think I've ever said the Ravens being 1-3 in my life, but Ravens are at home, but Texans are the favorite here. Just 1 point for them. Basically a pick 'em. Total sitting at 40.5. Texans money line at -125. Ravens at +105. What are your guys' thoughts here on this final 1 o'clock matchup here in Week 5?
No Lamar. This team is just all in the hospital. No Lamar, no not Matabuke's out for the year.
Smith. Matabuke might be retiring. Nate Wiggins, the corner, is out.
I mean, as a Steelers fan, I love to see the demise of the Baltimore Ravens, and I think they lose again here. I'm going to take the Texans with C.J. Stroud minus the 1 point to get to 2-3. Send those Baltimore Ravens to 1-4. I love the sound of that. If you would have told me that before the NFL season, I wouldn't have even cared what my Steelers record is. But give me the Texans here minus the 1. I think the Texans might, kind of start building something similar to that Dolphins team. I don't think they were 0-3 bad. I think they played some very good opponents to start the season in the Rams, the Bucks, and then obviously the Jaguars in a divisional matchup. They get their first win last week. Look for the Texans to keep the good times rolling in Baltimore and in preseason. This is, if you're a Texans fan, this one's counted as a loss. This one's now very wide open at a 1 point spread. I'm going to take the Texans to come out on top here.
Yeah, the Texans haven't shown me too much. The emergence of Woody Marks is nice alongside Nick Chubb, who's ran pretty well for them. Nico Collins, they really have to get him going a bit more, in my opinion. Oh, nice hit story. Let's go. Sox tied up. Yeah, I think that CJ Stroud, though, hasn't shown me anything, Huff. That's the one thing I'm waiting for is when can we see that rookie year CJ Stroud form? Maybe against a banged-up Ravens defense who's been very susceptible to good pass yards this year. But let's not forget, I know they're missing all their defense, but they gave up big points to the Lions, the Bills, and the Chiefs. Those are three really good offenses. So if you have a chance to kind of get right as a defense, it's against the Texans, who already no slouches, but it's not as prime pedigree as some of those past teams. What's going to be funny to watch is before it was Derrick Henry with like this superstar offense, and now it's like Derrick Henry back on the Tennessee Titans where he's the only guy. So maybe a good prop to look at would be a Derrick Henry carries prop. I bet you he sees the ball at least 20, 25 times, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be heavy rock toting for him. But yeah, I'm going to stay away from this game just because I'm not sold on this Texas team. I think that another team is going to emerge and win that division. I know they're coming off of a shutout and the defense looked good. And I have liked this Texans defense all year. The Ravens O-line looked awful against the Chiefs last week, so look for them to continue to have heavy pressure on him. But I think I could take the under in this one. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think the Texans should win, but this bye cannot come soon enough for the Ravens. I think it's 2 weeks away. And they have the Texans and Rams before that, before they get Lamar Jackson and Roquan Smith back. That might not be enough. This is a must-win game if they want to stay alive. They have to win at least one of these games before the bye and get to 2-4 before the next one.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of interesting stuff out of that one here. But let's move forward this next one here. The 0-4 Titans and the 2-2 Cardinals here. Cardinals at home. They are the favorites, 7.5 points for them. The total sitting in even 42. What are your guys' thoughts on this one?
That Cardinals defense looked good last week. And on Thursday Night Football, Jesse started off with our Week 4 recap and mentioned how they led a comeback to get to 20-20 without James Conner, right? And it was the Chad Ryland kick on that new kickoff rule that really screwed the pooch there. He didn't reach the landing zone, and with like 20 seconds left, the Seahawks got into they were close to field goal range and then got in to kick it. I would have liked to have seen some overtime there because they were absolutely surging. Kyler Murray absolutely unlocked Marvin Harrison Jr. I want to hear your thoughts on him because Marvin Harrison Jr. had a tough first half, but then the second half, he looked dynamite. When he's alongside the sidelines or he's in the red zone, he is one of the best receivers in the league when you throw it up and get it. I still think he has to figure out how to play across the middle of the field. But looking at his stats year to date, starting the same as his father, who's a Hall of Fame receiver, Marvin Harrison Sr., the two of them started their careers the same way. I still think MHJ, the junior, has a great bright career ahead of him, and I'm looking for him to be strong this week. Also note that Trey Benson's out this week, placed on IR alongside James Conner. So it's going to be Eddie DeMarcado and Michael Carter in the backfield. And you have MHJ, MHJ, Trey McBride, and Michael Wilson. I look for Kyler Murray to air out the ball early and often. DeMarcado does look good, though, when he plays. He scored a touchdown last week, good in the 2-minute drill. He can catch the ball. He's a big back who can run through the tackles. But look for some Kyler Murray air yards. Zach Ertz, Marvin Harrison Jr., big games. And that defense, who played strong against the Seahawks last week, a lot of unknown names on that defense, looking good besides Calais Campbell and Budda Baker. I forget who the young corner is that stepped up last week. He had some big hits and was involved.
What's his name from Michigan? Will Johnson.
No, not Will Johnson. He didn't even, I don't even know if he played last week. I think he was hurt. Let me look it up. Cardinals defense. But give your take on this game. There's someone that jumped out to me.
I cannot lay 7.5 points to the Cardinals. I don't care if they're at home, on Mars. I don't care where they're at. I would have to take the Titans plus 7.5 here. I know they're 0-4. I know they're bad. If I had to bet this game on the spread, it's 7.5 points. Gun to my head, I would say Titans plus 7.5.
And they
just
scored,
an ugly game. Total's 42, so you got to think like, all right,
last week.
What do they think the score is going to be? Where it's going to be around 42 and around a 7-point difference. I'd say 23-17.
You think they can get 17? You want to hear their scores on the Earhoff? 12,
0,
19,
0, and 0.
0, 12, 19, and 20.
They can if they can get anywhere from the 19 to 20. Yeah, this they can definitely cover this game.
Yeah, the Cardinals defense just stepped up. It's actually Melton. Melton is the corner I was looking at. I believe he's a rookie too, and he was just all over the ball last week, making big hits and whatnot. He looked good, covering against JSN.
You won't see this on my card. I'll lean on the Titans plus 7.
No, I wouldn't take the spread. I do think the Cardinals win this game outright, though. I don't think there's any chance that the Titans win. They did play people tighter than their record shows. And what was the quote that Cam Ward had? We're ass until we're completely shown otherwise.
I kind of like that though. Like he's kind of showing like, all right.
I like Cam Ward, but the rest of the team is awful.
I'm starting to kind of like where he's like, not like cocky about it, but like someone needs to be a leader on that team.
Yeah,
because
the front office and the coaching staff isn't. Yeah, I like Ayamanor. He's stepping up well. Tony Pollard looks pretty decent, but Calvin Ridley's been a huge disappointment in that defense.
Jeffrey Simmons is probably the leader on that team. Like you need a quarterback to step in.
Their defense has been nothing, so I can't take them this week. I won't be touching this game. But like I said, I think that Zach Ertz and Marvin Harrison Jr. have big games, so maybe we'll look at some props there.
Definitely an interesting one there. We'll see what happens. But let's jump for this next game. I'm a little excited for it. Bucks and Seahawks here. Both teams at 3-1. Seahawks at home as well as the favorite here. 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -185. Bucks at +150. The total sitting at 44.5. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? I think it's going to be a shootout.
I think the Seahawks team is better than people gave them credit for, but I am going to go with Tampa Bay plus the 3.5. I do like the +150 on the money line as well. Just a tough place to play up there in Seattle, but Tampa Bay is a little banged up. What we've seen from Emeka Egbuka, Baker Mayfield, and obviously Bucky, they have very fun weapons on offense. I'm going to go with the Bucks here. I'll take the 3.5 points. I just don't love Sam Darnold and the Seahawks offense. Their defense is very stingy. They have a lot of good cornerbacks and defensive backs up there in Seattle, but I think Tampa Bay is able to keep this close. I'll take 3.5. If not, I think they win the game.
No, we're in the same play right there in the Red Sox game. But yeah, back to this game. The Seahawks, man, we're talking about this team is interesting. I don't think Sam Darnold's worth the money, but you know what you're going to get with him. He's pretty strong and a solid quarterback. He makes smart plays, but he doesn't have that X factor dynamite. But he has weapons that can do it. Huff, how about Torrey Horton? You like him jumping onto the scene to play alongside Jackson Smith and Jigba, one of the best receivers in the league, and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, he's been good.
Strong rookie.
He looked good in that game against Arizona last week, too.
Yeah, he did. He missed on a big play, but he also is a great returner, too. So JSN and Kupp, you know what you're going to get from them. Two absolute star receivers. Yeah. But then on the other side, you also have maybe the best running back tandem in the league with Kenneth Walker and Zach Charbonnet. I know fantasy minds don't really like seeing that, the two of them, but they're both very good running backs. So Sam Darnold has a strong group to play alongside him.
You're going to say Gibbs and Montgomery, probably.
Yeah, but they have to be top 3, I think.
I'll keep thinking. Keep going.
Yeah, I think they could be top 3. I like Aljair and Robinson, too. It's another one. But, yeah, I think that this Seahawks team is in for a tough one here. Baker Mayfield, we saw what Kyler Murray was able to do late in that second half against the Seahawks last week and air it out. You talked about those good corners, but Baker Mayfield airs it out better than Kyler. He has a better O-line. I think they're able to get it going and score some points. I'm going to take him on the money line here, plus 150. Even if Bucky Irving's out, Rashad White looks very capable as a running back to lead the way. That's why he was the RB1 before Bucky showed up, and he's still involved in that offense. Strong, can find the end zone, had some big ones the last couple weeks. Amika Bukba, like you said, rookie of the year, wide receiver 1, even with Godwin, McMillan, and Evans healthy, I think he's the guy, and Baker's going to find him early and often. A little bittersweet coming off that loss last week where they had a good comeback stage against the defending champions. The Bucs going to look to get it done here this week. Vita Vea is going to be able to help shut down that run a little bit with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet. So yeah, let's go with the Bucs on the money line here. I think they're the better team in the NFC. I think the second best team in the NFC potentially. So Baker Mayfield getting the job done, one of the best quarterbacks in the league right now.
Heck yeah, boys. I think that's going to be a good one. But here's another one here, 4:25 p.m., Lions and Bengals in Cincinnati. The Lions are the favorite here. Biggest spread of the week, 10.5 points for them. The total sitting at 49.5. What are your guys' thoughts on this one? Lots of Bengals here. Lots of Bengals over the next couple of weeks. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, Huff, this is, you remember you see those tickets all the time online of everyone's like, I took all the Lions to score and it hit. I think that's going to happen this week. I can see Sonic and Knuckles get in, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra could have a few. Laporta, I don't really know where he's went. That's been something that kind of monitor. Is he even that good anymore? I don't know. 2 years ago, he was really good. Last year's okay, and he's kind of irrelevant now. Maybe you see a nice Tesla catch, but I think Jared Goff is going to carve up this Bengals defense. That is one of the worst defensive units in the league, and I think those two running backs both get in. I think that's a good play. You take Sonic in up as a score.
I agree. I'll keep it short here. I'll take the Lions minus 10.5 for all the reasons you just said.
Until the Bengals get a quarterback, can they win a game?
No.
I thought after, I said it on the pod or on the live stream last week, I said that Monday night game is going to be the turning point where they go get Andy Dalton to bring him home or Jameis Winston or someone cheap just to stopgap until you get Burrow. You got to do something because Jake Browning isn't it. I know it's not completely his fault because the O-line's terrible, the defense is terrible, but you have skill players. You got to get them the ball. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Chase Brown need to get the ball somehow, and with Browning at the helm, they can't do it. Lions by however many points they're laying, I think they put up a crazy score. This could be like one of those 50-plus point Lion weeks.
Like the Bears week 2?
Yeah. They were the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL last year for a reason. I think they really get going. I think they completely blow the doors off the Bengals.
Alrighty, quick one there. Well, let's move on to our final 4 o'clock matchup here in Week 5. Commanders and Chargers here. Chargers are at home as well as the favorite. 2.5 points for them, minus 155 on the money line. Commanders at plus 130 in the total, sitting at 48. What are your guys' thoughts on this one with Chargers at home, Commanders? Jaden Daniels, I believe, is set to play this week. What are your thoughts?
This is probably my favorite play of the week. I'm going to go with the Chargers to get back in the win column. I think they cover 2.5. Coming back home, Commanders first week back with Jaden Daniels under center. I don't think that team is that good. I think they had a little bit of premature success last year. People have high expectations for them this year. I have them getting a loss this week to the Chargers. I'll take the Chargers minus 2.5.
Yeah, I think they get right here. Omarion Hampton, at least we saw him jump onto the scene last week. I guess that's the one bright spot of that loss they had last week. And their defense did play pretty decent. Justin Herbert was just completely stuck in the mud. And I think a big thing about it is you have to get Ladd McConkey involved. He's your number 1 receiver, and they've been targeting QJ, who looked really good. Like, it's a breakout year for Quentin Johnston and Keenan Allen a lot. But you got to get Ladd McConkey involved. He's one of your best talents on the team, and your defense will keep you in the game too. Without Khalil Mack, I wouldn't be surprised for them to make a move, but I think they get the job done here. The Commanders, I think they're another team that slips like the Broncos and misses the playoffs. A lot of injuries. Even if Jaden Daniels does play, is he going to be 100%? Meanwhile, do they have a run game? Bill Krosky-Merritt kind of injured and banged up, so it's Chris Rodriguez. I don't know. I'm not too sold on what they have cooking. Terry McLaurin's yet to find the end zone, and they're relying on Zach Ertz and short game to Deebo Samuel pretty often. Strong defenses on both sides. I could see this one stay under. I'm going to take the Chargers to get back in the win column this week, and Herbert to get back on track with his MVP campaign. Look for Ladd McConkey to snap off, like I said. He's not complaining like A.J. Brown, but he deserves to see the ball a lot more.
Alrighty, boys. Let's move into some Sunday Night Football here. Ace, your Patriots heading to Buffalo to visit the Buffalo Bills here. The Bills are the favorite here. 8 points on the spread. The total sitting at 49.5. Ace, what do you think your Patriots do here in Sunday Night Football?
I think this is an absolutely dynamic game. I think the last time we were on a primetime or Sunday Night Football, it was Bill Belichick on the graphic against TJ Watt. And now we have Drake May against Josh Allen. Drake May supposed to be the next Josh Allen. And his passing numbers, he's ranked as a top 5, top 10 quarterback in almost every stat. He's only 23 years old. He doesn't have premier weapons. He doesn't have the strongest line, even though Will Campbell looks like a stud as allowing 0 pressures already this year, which is crazy as the starting left tackle as a rookie against some of the good defenses we've gone against too with Max Crosby and TJ Watt and whatnot. But we got Travion Henderson involved a little bit. We got Ramondre involved a little bit, and Antonio Gibson. Hunter Henry's having a top 3, top 5 tight end season already to date. His connection with Drake May is very strong. May getting the job done through the air and on the ground. He's up there in rating and in yards. Josh McDaniels, a real offensive coordinator, is helping unlock that. And we saw Stephon Diggs post his first 100-yard game last week. He's starting to come back into true form after that ACL injury, and now he's got a revenge game. You think he's going to be fired up for this one? He's going to have his girl Cardi B there in the stands maybe. She was in Gillette last week, but I think he's going to look to get his first touchdown of the season, and that offense is going to look to keep rolling. This Bills team, like I said, they've been reeling a little bit. Yeah, they've been winning football games, and they're undefeated, but the last 2 weeks, they almost dropped them to the Saints and the Dolphins, 2 very weak teams. If not for a roughing the punter penalty on 4th down in back-to-back games, would have been crazy if neither of those happened. They dropped against these weak teams, but here we are at 2-2 and 4-0. Josh Allen and James Cook, yeah, those two are really good, but who else on that offense has stepped up for the Bills? Is it Khalil Shakir? Is it Josh Palmer? No one that's been a stud, though, that you really need to circle out besides Cook and Allen. They're getting Kincaid involved a bit more. He looks strong, but the Patriots have the number 2 run defense in the NFL, have yet to allow 100 yards rushing in a game, and I think that bodes very well to make them get away from Cook and go on the outside. Give me the Patriots to steal a win this week in a very, very tough environment in the Bills. I think people are going to be all over the Bills this week, and Drake May is going to surprise people, showing those highlight reel plays, making smart plays, having a great year, and coming into his own as one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the Patriots win this game. I definitely think they could keep it close. I think Buffalo looks, obviously they're one of, if not the best team in the NFL right now. So I'm not going to pick against them at home here. Divisional spot though, 8 points. That's a lot of points in a divisional matchup. Sunday night prime time as well. My favorite play here, I like over 49.5. I think this could get a little high scoring. I think your Patriots will put up some points. Obviously, Josh Allen, James Cook, Shakir, all the guys you just named on the offensive side of the ball for the Bills. They've never struggled to put up points, so I think they'll get theirs. I don't have a score prediction. I think 49.5. I'm on the over here. I'd say the Bills get the win, Patriots cover.
Yeah, you think Diggs gets a touchdown as return to Buffalo?
Yeah, I think they'll definitely be looking at that.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one, I think. This is going to be another good Sunday Night Football game. We've been blessed with a lot of good primetime games this year. What do you think about Drake May, though? I'm eager to hear your thoughts because he keeps ascending as a star. He's only 23 years old, has no true skilled talent around him, and he's absolutely doing everything perfectly.
I didn't watch the game last week. Obviously, I didn't think he looked great against the Steelers, but that's pretty good defense. He obviously put up a fight in a pretty good game there, so you can't really be mad about that. Sometimes the best ability is just to manage a game and keep your team in it. But last week I didn't watch against the Panthers. I know that's obviously where he probably looked very good in a blowout, but what was his stat line?
I think he only threw like 17 passes, but he was perfect. And I think he was like 15 for 17.
No, I definitely think he's going to be good. The best in his draft class, obviously, Jaden, what he did last year is going to be tough to touch. He definitely has some standards to work up to, but I definitely could see that happen.
I think he's the only one that doesn't have a premier receiver too. Like
the Patriots are. I said this. Like, yeah, I mean, you have high expectations. You're a Patriots fan. I think in 2 or 3 years they're legit.
Yeah, I think it could be sooner than that too. The fact that the defense being this good is crazy to me. I mean, we spent all that money to get them good. And you know what else is a nice piece to add? Last week, Christian Gonzalez made his debut, and he was actually absolutely clamped since Torrey McMillan. So adding that to the mix helps everybody else out.
Yeah.
But I'm eager to see this strong defense.
Yeah, you're right. Probably a year or two. 1 or 2. So it should, instead of 2 or 3, I should have said 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think this is the start
next year or the year after.
Because this year they're in the 7 to 10 win range, and then hopefully we can get closer to double digits.
You also got to think maybe sooner or later you could have a down year by the Bills, but
we'll see.
Like world beater.
I mean, Josh Allen at the helm is always tough.
I think as long as he's there, it's going to be it's like my Steelers right now. I get to run through fucking Burrow and Lamar Jackson just to win a division.
Yeah, that's the nice thing. We didn't really touch on that either, but at least you get now the quarterbacks in the AFC North are Jake Browning, Gardner Minshew, and Dylan.
If you would have told me the last man standing was 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers, I would have said you're crazy.
Yeah, but here we are. But I think this is going to be fun to watch, this Patriots game. Like I said, even though it's Drake May is getting all the hype and maybe we see a little bit more Travion Henderson, I'm very eager to see this Patriots defense take on Josh Allen and see what they can do. Give me the Pats on the money line. I can't card it, though. 0-2 when the Patriots are on the card, 2-0 when they're off the card. So it'll be a prop game. But no, I'll be taking it off the card. I can't put it on there for you folks.
Alrighty, boys, let's head over to Monday Night Football here. Chiefs and Jags in Jacksonville.
Great
Chiefs
game.
are the favorite here, 3.5 points for them. Their money line at -185. Jags at +150. The total sitting at 46.5. What are your guys' thoughts here on this Monday Night Football game to round us out on Week 5?
The
For
Jags
two
are a good
AFC
football
teams,
team.
it feels like these teams never play each other. I don't even know when the last time would be. Probably the last time the AFC West played the AFC South. But I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here. I think obviously
They're
another
firing.
week. Yeah, they look back. Obviously, this is a buy. I'm buying high on a very good team, which is never a good thing. But I think that Jacksonville is a 3-1 team that I think is pretty good, coming off a win in
They
San
are good.
Francisco. I picked them in that game. I didn't end up betting it, but I did end up taking it off the card with the points. They win that game outright in San Francisco against a very injured team. They're 3-1. They beat teams like the Texans, the 49ers, and I'm blanking on their other win. But I have Kansas City come in here, get to 3-2, send the Jaguars to 3-2. 3.5 points. I'll buy it to 3. Give me Kansas City.
Yeah, like you said, they're firing high on all cylinders. They got Pacheco to find the end zone last week, but their run game still scares me. Yeah, they started slow, but Patrick Mahomes has been playing great football all year long. And people like to say Josh Allen's the best. I still think Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the league, and he's been doing it with a depleted star around him. Kelsey's getting going a little bit. He's catching 6 or 7 passes a game. We saw Worthy, the immediate impact he had. They got him the ball early and often last week. He looked really good. And that defense for the Chiefs has been playing very well to boot. Meanwhile, the Jags, I think they're exceeding people's expectations, even though I think that they're going to be strong this year. Brian Thomas Jr. hasn't shown up. Travis Hunter playing both sides of the ball is pretty cool, and Brenton Strange is decent. Meanwhile, Travis Etienne's having a little bit of a breakout year here, wouldn't you say? He went for over 100 and a touchdown last week, so nice to see Liam Cohen getting him going for Trevor Lawrence. They really need that. And their defense is strong too, but I don't think they'll be able to contain Mahomes. No great secondary, so look for Worthy to run free. Maybe a long shot to Tyquan Thornton. I think that they put up too many points for the Jaguars to stick around, but kudos to them on gutting out a win last week. Look for some long field goals from Cam Little, who has that preseason record too. But I think this should be a good game. I could see the Chiefs win this one 31-20, though.
Alrighty, boys. That's about everything we got here this week in NFL Week 5.
Who we got on the bye this week, Jesse?
That's a
Steelers,
great question.
Packers.
Steelers, Bears, Packers, and Falcons, I believe.
Yeah, first week of buys that we're coming into, so 2 less games, but yeah, you guys excited? You got your bye this early? Probably
I think
not,
it's
right?
okay. With how we've been doing to start the season, I think it's okay.
3-1
but
though. You got to strike while the pan's hot, but the
you're not
Europe game
wrong.
definitely screwed it, huh?
I'd rather be playing the Browns this week and have our bye next week, but
Well, that would be a buy. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding. That defense is really good. But yeah, I don't like the early season bye. Like, they definitely don't prefer that.
we
Right.
always have an early season bye, I feel like. We never get the week 13,
Is it
12,
because you've been
13.
playing in Europe a few times the last few years and they're just giving to you the week after?
We've never played in Europe.
Oh, that was the first one?
I mean, since when?
We played the Vikings in
Like what? I mean, year. I didn't mean never. That was a bad way to put it. What? It's
Yeah.
been
The last
6
5 years since COVID.
it was before COVID.
Yeah. So
Mike Tomlin was 0-1 in international games, I think.
How do you
Gotcha.
think that feels for the old Aaron Rodgers? I feel like you'd rather have the bye a little bit later. But I guess you guys were a little bit banged up. Jalen Warren was out, right? And some guys on
Jalen Warren
defense.
missed. We just got the Sean Elliott back. Still no Joey Porter. I mean, you could spin. I don't think a bye week in the NFL is ever a bad thing. I mean, teams are always banged up. It's always a good thing, but I definitely feel like you'd rather it in
Prefer in the middle.
mid to half.
Yeah. I think
Week
my
10's
age-
perfect. Week 10 is
Yeah.
the best bye you could have.
Yeah. I wonder how they do that. It must be a rolling list or something. We'll see. But yeah,
that is a really good question.
Well,
I
the
wonder how they do that.
international teams, they automatically offer them the week after their international game.
yeah,
So
as
like
they should.
the Vikings are probably on bye next week with 2
They
straight
have to be.
international
They
games.
have to be. And then meanwhile, the Packers, they've been a little bit banged up too. Jacobs got hurt in that game against the Cowboys. We said the Falcons, I don't think they need to buy necessarily. And the last one you said was, who's the last team on the buy this week?
Steelers, Falcons, Packers.
Bears. Oh, you said Bears.
Bears.
Yeah. I mean, hey, they had a crazy win last week. We didn't really touch on that much, but the block kick the win. I had that 1.5 unit play on the +110. Crazy
way to win.
stuff. Hey, yeah, right. Oh my God, I was tweaking on that last drive, and it was like a 50-yard. I'm like, eesh, miss it, and then they
That's
block
awesome.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was my heaviest bet of the week too. But 7-0-1 Monday Night Football, Sunday Night Football. Ride my card while it's hot, boys.
Heck yeah, boys. Like you said, make sure to stay tuned for our picks on Instagram and Twitter for all the games here this week. Thursday, Sunday, Monday. We'll be there for all of them, as well as our live stream on TikTok, YouTube, Rumble, etc. on Sunday morning, highlighting our favorite 5 games of the day. But with that, let's jump over to the college football world here, and let's take a look at the new rankings for them heading into week 6. Coming in at number 10, we have Alabama. Number 9, we have Texas. Number 8, Indiana. Number 7, Penn State. Number 6, Texas A&M. Number 5, Oklahoma. Number 4, Ole Miss. Number 3, Miami, Florida. Number 2, Oregon. And number 1, Ohio State. Huff, what are your thoughts here on these rankings here for week 6 in the college football world?
Your Nittany Lions taking a hit down to 7, moving down 4 spots. Oregon now your new number 2 team in the nation. Miami getting bumped out 1 spot there, but Ole Miss is probably the surprise of the top 10 here, jumping up to 4, taking LSU's spot after a big win against the Tigers there. What'd you say?
They had a good win though.
Yeah, definitely.
What was it? Whatever, dating Kiffin's daughter, and
yeah,
and then they go in and beat them. That was a fun one to watch.
Yeah, and then Miami, the third-ranked team, has a very tough matchup this week at Florida State, where we've seen, obviously, Alabama lose this year. Going to be a tough matchup. Some good games on the slate this weekend. I haven't looked into too many of these games, so if you want to just go through them and read the games that I pulled out, Jess, that'd be fine.
Huff, what about that last week though? The 2 that I was key on were the 2 late ones, obviously.
Yeah, the Oregon and then Bama. Those are
the Oregon Penn State game. If you had the over or the under in that game, I mean, that was a complete flip of a switch, because it was like 10-3 going into the fourth quarter. Then it blew up in the fourth,
and then went to overtime.
Went to double OT. Drew Alar throwing the triple coverage. That was a weird play on first down. I didn't like that at all. Do you blame that on that coach there, the one who doesn't have big wins in the big spots?
I don't know. I also don't. I don't think Aller's very good. So, but I think Penn State, obviously, I mean, they held their own in a game where you lose in double overtime. It's just tough. It's on your home field to lose that game, because now they have to go to Ohio State in 2 weeks, which I'm not going to count them out of that game, because that's exactly what Vegas will want you to do there. But it's going to be tough sledding. Penn State will be in the playoff. This system's designed for schools like Penn State to get in with 1 or 2 losses, even at Penn State or at Ohio State in a home.
Yeah, with the new playoff.
I mean,
format.
if they lose to Ohio State in 2 weeks, they've lost to the 2 top teams in the nation. Like, you're not going to make the
discount that, like, in overtime too.
Exactly. As long as they don't get blown the fuck out in Ohio State.
Is that Oregon team legit?
Yeah. Dante Moore's a Heisman favorite. I think Oregon's very good. I'm blanking on the tight end. His name, he's very good. It's a kind of a fun name. I'm going to look it up, but
also that Alabama game, Huff, that was a pretty fun one to watch. Alabama and Georgia. That quarterback was absolutely slinging in. Who's that receiver? There's a Ryan Williams.
Sadiq is the tight end for Oregon.
Is he draft eligible after this year?
Yeah, but Kirby Smart has a serious Alabama problem. Clearly, doesn't matter if it's Nick Saban or Kalen DeBoer. Just loves to lose to Alabama.
Is Alabama back?
Georgia falls out of the top 10 there. I don't know if Alabama's back. Ty Simpson looks good. I think that, they got that week 1 loss out of their way. Now they're kind of finding their stride rolling. They're finding themselves back in the top 10. So
they almost blew that game too.
They have a tough matchup this weekend against Vandy. That hasn't been said, I think, ever.
Undefeated
that Alabama
Vandy.
has a tough matchup against Vandy, but Vandy's good. Diego Pavia is legit, and Vandy's coming into this game ranked 16th versus 10. Top 16 matchup, I guess you could say, but in Alabama, I think Alabama handles business there. We can get into those games if you want, Jess.
Heck yeah, I got them up here. Let's start it out here with Vanderbilt and Alabama here at 3:30 on Saturday. Alabama's the favorite here at home. 10.5 points for them. The total sitting at 55.5. What do you think about this one, Huff?
I just said I didn't look into these spreads. Just read through. If you want to go through the spreads, that's fine. Just read the games I pulled out.
Yeah, Miami and Florida State here. Florida State at home, but Miami's the favorite here. This battle, Florida 4.5 points for Miami. Total 53.5. And the last one, the 7:30 matchup here, Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Texas A&M at home, and a large spread of 14.5 points for them. The total sitting at 55.5 for that one as well. Any thoughts on any of this stuff, Huff?
Nothing yet. Stay tuned for all of our official plays on this. We are 15-9 on the season in the college football world. Just over 4.5 units here, sitting at 4.72 on the year. Had a good week last week, looking to build off of that as we head into our slate on Saturday. Some good games on Friday, but mostly Saturday. I like Florida State. A couple of those other spreads there. That's a big spread, but I think Alabama gets a win. We'll have to stay tuned for all of our official plays. HitTheBooks.pod on Instagram, HitTheBooks_pod on Twitter.
Heck yeah, thank you for that. Let's finish up on our last point here. In the golf world, the Ryder Cup has just finished up, and Team Europe, finishing at plus 170, wins the 2025 Ryder Cup at Bethpage Black by a score of 15-13. USA did not look great after Friday and Saturday morning rounds. US shrunk the deficit throughout the second half of the weekend and made a late push to make Sunday interesting. US would still fall short after Shane Lowry hit the match-winning putt to retain the Ryder Cup for Europe. What did you guys think of the 2025 Ryder Cup? Did you get to watch? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I was pretty glued into this Friday afternoon throughout the day on Saturday. Kept checking in on Sunday, was kind of watching that comeback a little bit, but it was kind of written on the wall. This was Europe's tournament to lose after the way they started the foursomes on Friday and Saturday. They had a pretty dominating lead. I think it was 8.5 to 3.5 after Friday or after Saturday or at some point on Saturday, but good tournament. I think Europe was the play. None of us obviously wanted to bet that, rooting for what I thought was a pretty stacked U.S. lineup, but U.S. couldn't putt all weekend. Europe was draining putts left and right, 10 feet, 12 feet, 7 feet, didn't matter. They were making 1 or 2 putts on every hole. USA continued to struggle with the putter until Sunday. They made a little bit of a comeback, but too little too late for the Americans, and we'll have to wait 2 more years for another chance at the Ryder Cup, this time in Ireland in 2027.
Heck yeah, it was definitely an electric weekend across the board. Fun to see some more golf.
My favorite thing about golf tournaments is listening to all the golf snobs bitch about the course.
Yeah.
A lot of people saying the course played too easy, like a lot of that stuff. They should have played in the Americans' favor more. I don't know much about that, but I do love hearing people bitch about that. But yeah, I mean, we lost straight up. Europe couldn't miss a putt. There's your answer. Like, it wasn't the golf course was too easy.
Europe just
the
played
greens
well.
were too soft and all that. Like, Europe just couldn't miss a putt all weekend.
Yeah. They played well. It was, again, fun to watch.
Tommy Fleetwood was on fire. Cam Young did carry the U.S. team. Scotty and Bryson. Bryson played good. Scotty kind of disappointed a little bit. I think he knows that. But all the tournaments that guy wins, I mean, you got to expect.
He only cares about the individual accolades.
Yeah, he's like, fuck that. You want me to win for you guys?
Yeah, where's my money? I'm not getting as much winning this.
Don't get anything. Or they get a little bit, but they all said I think they're donating it or whatever.
I think you get 500,000 for
bragging rights.
Right. Yeah, but electric stuff. Ace, you got something?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I know you're gonna outro golf there a little bit, but in the UFC world, I know you guys aren't as well versed in it. There is actually probably the best card of the year to date, or maybe the second or third best. You got Alex Pereira going against Ankalaev for a title fight, and you got Merab going in the title fight against Corey Sandhagen, Yuri Prochazka against Khalil Roundtree. But if you were going to tune into one half, this is a good one to tune into. Saturday night, you got 2 title fights back to back on the main card, and some really good fights on the undercard too. So I'd watch
it like
that
a late as fuck one? Where is this?
It's in America, I believe. So it's going to be like the 9 o'clock,
like
to
a
12
midnight.
o'clock round. Yeah. So if you're find yourself with some time on your hands, throw that one on late. 2 title fights at night, and it's Merab and Alex Pereira, Chama. So really good ones.
Heck yeah, boys. Lots of good stuff here. Like I said, we're into NFL Week 5. We're into Week 6 of the college football season. The Ryder Cup is finished up, but this month of October is going to be electric here. NHL and NBA starting, and NHL starting next week. NBA starting on the 21st, I believe.
Red Sox playoffs. I mean, come on.
Yeah, MLB playoffs, correct. I mean, seriously, we're all over it. So make sure you stay tuned to all our stuff. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we get on out of here?
Go Sox, baby. In Red Sox playoff baseball, Patriots on Sunday Night Football. What a week for us Boston fans.
Yeah, great time in the sports world as we head into October. Definitely one of the better known sports months in the calendar year. Can't wait for it. Yeah, playoff baseball, football. Steelers on a bye week this week, so looking to get back strong next week against Cleveland and keep chugging along. 3-1, can't lose on the bye week, so we'll see what happens next week for my Steelers. And yeah, about to go watch some playoff baseball.
Heck yeah, lots of good stuff. See you guys next week.